am about 4 weeks into my winter project pan, which means that I owe you an update. If you haven't watched my winter intro, I'll be sure to link that in the cards right now so you can go watch that first and then watch this video to see the progress that I've made so far. Just to kind of recap, this is a body care and fragrance focused project, but I also do have a few makeup items in here as well. This project is lasting me about 16 weeks, so for the entire winter season. I started with an intro. I'm gonna be doing 2 updates and then also the finale. We're gonna start with body washes. I have 8 to give you updates on, and I've made some really good progress on some of them, which I'm so excited to share with you. Although I will say I have not emptied any of them yet, but I am very close. Okay, so the very first one is the Cozy Vanilla Bourbon Body Wash. So I'll show you where I started. I know it can be tricky with this darker packaging, but that's the line of where I started, and that is where we are at now. So I am so close to finishing this body wash. Although this is one of my favorite scents in the mist, for whatever reason, it just does not translate well into the body wash in my opinion. I think it's just a little bit too boozy to be something that I want to have in the shower. So overall, I haven't been super crazy about reaching for this one, but I have kind of tried to focus on this wash specifically so that I can use it up so that it's out of my collection. Because once I've emptied this, I will definitely not be repurchasing. So those are my general feelings about this, but I am very, very happy with how much progress we have made so far. Okay, next up is Bright Christmas Morning. This is notes of ripe red berries, blood orange, and crisp apple. So I'll show you the progress that I've made. So this one was full when we started, so you can see that little line up there. And then this is how much we have used. So we've made a decent dent on this one, but not an overwhelming amount of progress. I actually kind of thought I was going to be reaching for this one more because a lot of these fragrances that I have for the body washes are a little bit more gourmand, a little bit more heavy, a little bit more like food-like, and I thought that I would really want something kind of bright and citrusy to break that up when I'm not in the mood for something so heavy. But I actually really have been enjoying kind of those deeper, sweeter, richer scents in the shower. So I haven't been reaching for this one as much as I thought, but obviously I've still made a little bit of a dent, which I'm proud of. And I do think that kind of towards maybe the end of January, maybe moving into February, kind of as we start to transition more into the spring season, I might end up reaching for this one more, or who knows, I might just reach for it more in general. So next up is one of my favorite fragrances in my collection, and that is Dream Bright. This one has notes of sapphire berries, night blooming orchid, and crystallized vanilla. So as you can see, this is where we started on this body wash, and we've made, I would say, about an inch of progress. So this one was nowhere near full when we started, and I would say we have a little less than half left. So I've really been enjoying this one. I feel like this one is such a winter scent. It's deep, it's rich, it's sweet, it has that berry, it has that crystallized vanilla in there. I would say this scent is definitely on the stronger side, but absolutely love this one. This was such a winner from summer semi-annual sale. Next up is my progress on Into the Night. So this one is Raspberry Noir, Amber Crystals, Velvety Rose Petals, Creamy Patchouli, and Mocha Musk. I have made a little bit of progress. So that was where we started at the beginning of the project, and this is where we are at now. This is a product that I will be honest with you, I don't love the scent on this one. It is a little bit of a challenge for me to want to reach for this scent. Although I will say I'm kind of starting to come around to it just a little bit more. There is something about it, like, as I'm smelling it right now, I'm getting a ton of that patchouli, which I'm just not crazy about. But sometimes in the shower, I feel like this kind of leans a little bit more towards like YSL Black Opium. I get a little bit more of that vanilla, a little bit more of that Mocha Musk, which is kind of like almost a coffee, and then like a little bit of like richness, deepness from the amber. So it is one that I will say is growing on me, although it's definitely not a love yet. I said at the beginning of the project, this is one that I just need to use up. I've had this for like 2 years in my collection, and it's just gotta go. So I think after I'm done with the Cozy Vanilla Bourbon, I'll probably focus as much as I can on Into the Night because it's grown on me a little bit, but I'm also just over it and it's time to go. All right, next up we have Vanilla Cafe. This one has notes of smooth espresso, whipped vanilla, and toasted hazelnut. This packaging is almost completely opaque, but if you shine a flashlight up to it, you are able to see where you're at. So this line right here is where we started. This one was almost completely full when we started the project, and then this is where we are at now. So I've made decent progress, I think, on this scent. Vanilla Cafe is super heavy, super gourmand, photorealistic coffee that it's not always a scent that I'm drawn to using. Like, I feel like I definitely have to be in the mood for this one because it is so heavy and so sweet and so food-like. Definitely like a true winter cold weather scent, because otherwise I think like in spring or in summer, or honestly even in fall when it's not completely chilly yet outside, this one would be way, way, way too much. Okay, next up is Peppermint Bark Truffle. Same as the Vanilla Cafe packaging. This one is almost completely opaque. So this one was full when we started, and that is how much we have used. Similar to Vanilla Cafe, this is definitely one that I need to be in the mood for to use because this is so gourmand. So this one has notes of peppermint chocolate cake, crushed candy cane, and white chocolate. It truly is just a peppermint bark scent, super sweet and minty and chocolatey. I would say that when you smell this in the actual body wash, it smells super realistic chocolate and not like fake and artificial. But in the shower, as this one kind of heats up with the steam, it does start to lean a little teeny tiny bit like artificial smelling. But overall, I'm pretty happy with this scent as a body wash. I've been pairing this so much with the Merriment body scrub, and it just makes the most delicious minty chocolatey scent that I've been absolutely loving, especially around the holiday time. I know the holidays are over, but this was just so fun to use in December. All right, we are down to our last two body washes. So the first one is Inner Angel from the Everyday Luxuries line. This one doesn't have the notes on it, but this smells like a warm, boozy, spiced apple pie. It's supposed to be a dupe for Kilian's Angel Share, if you are familiar. This smells so good, and it smells so good in the shower, and because of that, I've kind of been hanging on to this one and savoring this one and just not reaching for it as much as I've reached for some other scents that I'm kind of just trying to get out of my collection. So as you can see, this is where we started. We were almost completely full. Actually, I think we were completely full at the start of the project, and then this line is where we are at now. So I've only reached for this a few times during the project so far, but not because I don't like it, but because I don't want it to go away. So I definitely think as we start to move into like the second update and finale, we will definitely see some great progress on this one. Okay, our last body wash update is for Midnight Addiction. This is the Everyday Luxuries dupe for YSL Black Opium. I definitely think this one is more similar to the Le Parfum version of Black Opium, but regardless, it's absolutely delicious. So this one doesn't have the notes on it, but this is kind of like a coffee, vanilla, maybe a little bit of white florals in there as well. It's super delicious, and I do get something though in the shower that is a little bit licoricey. So I'll show you where we're at since that's the point of this video. But this is the line of where we started, almost completely full, and then that line right there is where we are at now. I know it's a little tricky to see because the packaging is so dark, but we've made, I would say, about an inch of progress on this one. Super happy. I can't wait to continue using this one during the winter season. Okay, let's move on to our body scrubs and our body moisturizers. Okay, so let's start with body scrubs, and actually the first one I have not touched at all, but again, not because I don't like it, but because I'm really trying to savor this scent because I just love it so much, and it's discontinued as of right now. It's a limited edition scent that only comes out in like the fall time. It's from Tree Hut, and that is the Cinnamon Dolce body scrub. So as you can see, I have not touched this one at all. It is just so delicious. It's a sweet cinnamony graham cracker scent that is food-like yet not nauseating. Like I could use this every single day. It just smells so good. So haven't touched it because I don't want to get rid of it. I had it in my shower and I just found myself reaching for these other two scrubs way more because I don't want this one to go away. But don't worry, this will get some use. I am planning to use this with the Inner Angel body wash. Like, I think that combo is gonna smell so good. Like an apple pie with a graham cracker crust. So Very excited, just have not begun the process of using this up yet. One I did completely use up though is the Merry Mint Body Scrub from Tree Hut. This one is a true just like sweet candy cane scent. So I'll show you where we started. This one was completely full at the beginning of the project. You can see the line right there. It actually might be easier if I don't point to it, if you can see. Completely full at the start of the project, and I reached for this one so much. It was just such a fun and festive scent. I love the smell of peppermint. I love the flavor of peppermint. This was just the perfect balance of a nice, cool, and strong peppermint scent, but balanced out with some sweetness. Like, it truly smelled like a candy cane. It was so good. Definitely more festive in my opinion, so I found myself reaching for this one so much in December just because of the holidays, I feel like. So completely empty, very proud of that. I feel like I can go through these scrubs so fast. I wish they were just a little bit cheaper, although this is by far my favorite formula for a body scrub, so I'm probably just gonna keep buying them because I love them so much. So very proud of that progress. Okay, we also have the Dove Hot Cocoa Swirl Body Scrub. I've talked about this before. I love the scent of this. I don't love the formula. This is more of an everyday body scrub formula. It's very gentle and moisturizing. This one says it has notes of cocoa and rich hot chocolate. So it definitely does smell like hot chocolate, but I also kind of get something like spicy in there a little bit, like almost like a cinnamon hot chocolate maybe, but still very delicious. I'll show you. I mean, that's kind of probably gross, but that one is where we are at. This one keeps its shape really well versus the Tree Hut, which definitely settles. I'll show you the lines on the side. So we were almost completely full at the start of the project, and then that is where we are sitting at right now. Although I don't love the formula, you can definitely reach for this formula every single day, which I think works in its favor for me actually using it and making progress on it. So wonderful scent though, absolutely delicious scent. I will buy this every year if they release it for Christmas because it's just so good. All right, now onto our body moisturizers. Let's start with my EOS lotions because I have two, and I'm happy to say I used one of them completely up. The one that I used completely up is the fragrance-free lotion that I actually have sitting in this Ziploc bag because I cut it open to get everything out of it. I don't really know why I kept the pump, but I did. I don't know, but I will show you kind of where we were at for this one. This one has lines on it because it was in my fall project, but when I started this winter project, this one really just had product like on the sides and in like the corners where the little straw couldn't reach, the pump couldn't reach, but this one is completely empty. I mean, there's technically, I guess, still a little bit of lotion in there, but it kind of reached the point where I was like, I can't even get to that anymore. So this is empty. Every single drop, well, I would say 99% of the drops of lotion in here were completely used up. I will always and forever repurchase this lotion. I think having a fragrance-free lotion is just so practical to have in your routine because it can pair with any scent you want. And this EOS formula is one of my absolute favorites for lotion. It's so good. Okay, and then another lotion is the EOS 24-Hour Moisture Vanilla Cashmere Lotion, which was in my fall project, and I don't know why, but I didn't touch this one, which I even was talking about in my fall project, how I wanted to carry this one over so that I could make progress on it. I don't know what it is. I just didn't reach for it. I don't know what it is. I just haven't reached for this, but it smells so good. I feel like I've just been focusing on other moisturizers. So anyway, no progress. I promise you, I will have an update for you, and you will hold me accountable, please, that I'm going to reach for this one. And so there will be progress on this one by my second update and for sure by the finale. A couple more lotions, and these are from Bath & Body Works. So we had the Dream Bright lotion. This has been laying on its side, but I made sure to make the lines when it had all completely settled. So it's gonna look weird, but this is the progress that we've made. So that is where we started, and that is the progress that we've made. So I've really only used this one a couple times in this project. It smells so good. The lotion of this might be my favorite version of this because I think you get something a little bit more creamy in there, which might just be in my head because the lotion is creamy. I don't know, but love this one, and I can't wait to keep using this one throughout the rest of my project. All right, next up is the Mary Cookie lotion. This one has notes of fresh baked cookies, sparkling sugar crystals, and rich vanilla. So we were almost completely full when we started the project, and that is the progress that we have made. I definitely want to reach for this one more throughout the rest of the project because I think this is similar to the vanilla cashmere lotion, where it just adds such a delicious like baked good scent to any fragrance. So I think this is a really, really good layering scent, as well as on its own paired with its matching mist. But I do think it's an amazing layering scent. It's buttery, it's warm, it's vanilla, it's edible. It's so, so good. So I'm very excited to keep using this one in my project as well. Now I have two body butters, and the first one is this Vanilla Cafe body butter. I believe I put a line on this one. Maybe not. Yeah. Okay. So I put the line right there in the cap because this one was almost completely full when we started the project. I will be honest with you, I have not touched this one. It's just such a strong and particular scent that I only want to pair with certain scents, or I really, really need to be in the mood because it is so gourmand. I definitely will make more of an effort in the remaining parts of the project to use a lot more of this one, but it is one of those things where I'm just not always in the mood for this scent. It's delicious, it's edible, it's gourmand, but it's just not always what I'm looking for. And so it kind of is not always completely on my radar. Even though it's on my project, it's just not always what I'm reaching for. What I am loving though is the Milk body butter. This is the Sensitive Skin Colloidal Oatmeal body butter. And we've made, I feel like a little bit of progress. We could have made more, but I think it's decent for what it is because the body butters are so thick and rich that I feel like you really just don't need a lot of it. So that is where we started at the beginning of the project. I had used this a couple times, but just not like completely. And then this is where we are now. Okay, so now we're gonna talk about all of our fragrances. We have our body mists and our perfumes, and then we'll talk about makeup last. But let's go ahead and start with my little travel perfumes that I had picked for this project. So I had 5 little travels that I had decided that I wanted to focus on. So let's start with the one that I have been absolutely loving so far this project, and that is Jo Malone Ginger Biscuit. I knew at the beginning of this project I really, really wanted to focus on this scent because I wanted to create a Christmas scent memory, scent association with this particular fragrance, because this is just such a delicious fresh ginger cookie type fragrance. Unfortunately, it doesn't last very long, which is, I feel like it's fatal flaw. This one I started with, it was almost full. I did buy this one this year. This was the packaging from this year. And then that is where we are at right now. So for perfume, I feel like that's a very, very good dent because with perfumes, you really don't have to use as many sprays as a body mist. Otherwise, your scent could potentially be overwhelming. Like I said, though, unfortunately, this one doesn't have the best longevity. I do feel like when it's on, it has pretty good projection, but it's just something you have to be reapplying throughout the day. Otherwise, the scent kind of disappears. But I could see myself maybe not reaching for this one as much in like the second and third parts of this project, just because I do feel like this one is a little bit more of a Christmassy fragrance, but I've definitely been enjoying this one so far. Super duper yummy, and I will for sure have an update for you in a couple of weeks. Okay, another one that I have been loving is one of my favorite scents of all time, and that is Skin from Clean Reserve. So we started with a little dent in this one, and then that is where we are at now, where that little second line is. It is really, really good if you're in an environment where maybe you can't wear a ton of fragrance, or other people are maybe sensitive to fragrance, or you're working close with people. So I know I work in an office, so I think this is a really, really good scent for something like that, where it's very inoffensive. It's just one of those fragrances where it's just your skin but better. Lovely, lovely fragrance, and it's really just like an everyday easy wear, so can't wait to keep reaching for this one. While we're on the topic of skin scents, I feel like I will just talk about this next scent, which is another kind of skin scent, just a little bit different in the way that it was executed, and that is I Don't Know What from Dias and Durga. I would say that Clean Reserve Skin is like a skin scent for gourmand lovers, or like people who want something a little bit sweeter, whereas Dias and Durga, I Don't Know What, it really just adds something like a little bit more woody, a little bit more, I feel like I Don't Know What is the perfect scent name for this scent because I really feel like it is hard to describe. Like it just has something that just smells so, so good. But anyway, we're not reviewing the fragrance, we're talking about the progress. So haven't used this one a ton. This one is actually a roller ball, and I feel like, I don't know if I'm alone in this, but I feel like I have a harder time with roller balls, using them up quicker. I feel like just not as much product comes out. Maybe I'm crazy, maybe that's not correct, but anyway, I felt like I used this quite a few times to layer with other scents. I actually did use this to layer with Jo Malone Ginger Biscuit, and that was a very delicious combo. So this is where we started, and teeny tiny little bit of progress. Like I feel like this doesn't look like we've made very much progress on it, but I feel like I was using this one pretty regularly. I don't know what it is. It's like a little sweet, a little woody, maybe a little spicy, but then also something kind of fresh in there. Anyway, I will continue to use this to layer for sure. Also good on its own, but it is more of like a layering scent in my opinion. Next up is YSL Black Opium, and I reached for this a couple times. I've made a little bit more progress on this one than I did on the Decent Durga I Don't Know What. So the lines are kind of fading, but you can see where the top line is, and then that is the second line for where we are at now. So I think this could really be like a signature scent. Although this one is a little bit heavier and this is more like a coffee, vanilla, florals fragrance, it also, there's something about it that's just so perfumey that I really feel like this could be someone's like signature scent. Looking forward to continuing to use it. Okay, I don't know what happened with this next one. This is Kayali Yum Pistachio Gelato, but the original line, I've had to reline it a couple times, and I just went to go look at it again and the line is gone again. So I'll put in a clip of where this one started, and then I'll show you where this one is at now. So this is where we are at now with this scent. I feel like this is such a yummy winter gourmand that I've really been enjoying using. It's a little bit fresher. It almost has this like cold element to it, like almost like you're walking into an ice cream shop. Super yummy, and haven't reached for as much as some other scents, but definitely excited to continue using this one. Okay, let's move on to our fragrance mists. So the first one is from Bath & Body Works, and this is the Dream Bright Body Mist. Although I have loved using the lotion and the body wash in this one, I feel like sometimes the lotion is just so strong, and even the body wash is just so strong, that I don't always feel the need to pair the mist on top of it. So you will see I haven't used a ton of this mist yet. It's just a teeny tiny little line. So this might be difficult to see, but that is where we started and that is where we are at now. So I would say that's probably like a use of this. I don't always like go super crazy, especially with this kind of body mist that's super duper strong. So yummy, and just like the perfect winter fragrance. I know I keep saying that, but it really, really is. Okay, now we have Bright Christmas Morning, and similar to the body wash, I didn't reach for this one as many times as I thought I was going to. I thought I was going to be needing a break from those really, really heavy gourmand scents to have something a little bit fresher and fruitier, but I actually haven't needed a break as much as I thought. So this one is almost completely full when we started. So that top line right here is where we started, and we've just used a little bit. I would say this is probably like, that's probably like 2 uses worth. This one is a little bit fresher, a little bit more citrusy, so I feel like you can kind of go a little bit crazier with spraying this one because typically citrus scents just don't last as long. And like I said about the body wash, maybe I could see maybe reaching for this more like February vibes, but so yummy. I know it's called Bright Christmas Morning, but like honestly, you could probably wear this mist any time of year. The next one is from Being Frenchy, and this is the Moon Milk scent, which is like a limited edition kind of gingery fragrance. And I have been absolutely loving this mist. I've been reaching for this one all the time. Like I've been wearing this to bed, I've been wearing this to work. It's just so delicious. So I'll show you where we started. It was almost completely full at the start of the project, and then now we are right here. So I think we've made a decent dent, especially since I have used some of these other fragrances. This one is one I just feel like I keep getting drawn back to it because it's slightly gourmand, but there also is something a little bit earthy about it, a little bit more, something that kind of brings it down to earth. So good, but you still really do get that delicious like gourmand ginger fragrance in it. It almost has something in it that I feel like smells similar, like, okay, you know how Lush perfumes, in my opinion, I don't know if you feel this way, but I feel like Lush perfumes or Lush scents, even when they're super gourmand or no matter the scent profile, there's always something a little bit earthy in them. Like there's just like this Lush scent that I don't know if they just use the same base for every scent, but that's at least what happens for me, where I kind of pick up this same Lush scent from everything that they make. I kind of get that from this, but it works so well. It's so good. Just absolutely been loving this one, and I've actually gotten very, very good longevity on this scent. If I spray this, especially on my clothes, it's lasting, it's staying, it's not going anywhere. Okay, from Sol de Janeiro, my 71 mist. I just need to smell this. It's just so good. Toasted, kind of popcorny, but to me, that's not a bad thing. To me, that's a good thing. White chocolate, a little bit salty, just honestly, a gourmand lover's dream. It's so good. This is one that lasts and is strong, so you don't need a lot of this. I feel like I kind of apply this more similar to how I would apply a perfume versus how I apply body mist, because it is just so strong. So I also mentioned in my intro that this isn't one that I'm necessarily putting a ton on before I go out and about, because it's quite polarizing. It's quite polarizing, but the progress, okay? So I feel like I've made a really good amount of progress on this one. I could see myself completely finishing this by the end of the project, but this is where we started here, and that is where we are at now. So overall, I feel like I'm doing well, and I'm gonna continue to use this one and enjoy this one, because this is definitely not a mist that I just wanna go through and get rid of. This is one that I would repurchase as soon as I'm done with, because sometimes you just need to smell like food. Okay, snowflakes and cashmere, vanilla cashmere cream, caramel woods, and frosted clementine. You know the drill. Very delicious skin scent, a little bit creamy and vanilla-y, but not super vanilla-y or super sweet, with a hint of citrus in the background. So good. Delicious wintertime skin scent. So have reached for this one pretty frequently, because this is such an easy wear. We've gotten a pretty good amount of use on this one. This is where we started for the project. So it did have a little dent already, and then this is where we are at now. Pretty happy with the amount of progress we've made on this one, and really, I feel like I could wear this all year. I do have kind of a Christmassy scent memory with this one, because this was my signature scent for Christmas 2024. Like, I wore this all the time for Christmas 2024, like December. So kind of have that scent memory, but really could probably wear this anytime. Also makes a delicious layering scent if you want to just add something a little bit more skin-like, or just a little bit more, I don't know, creamy and warm and cashmerean. Very, very good. Last but certainly not least is Vanilla Skin. So I do have a little bit of an update on this one, but I want to say that this one might be one of my favorite mists in my collection, but it's also the mist that gives me the hardest time. It is my favorite child, but also my problem child. This is a super delicious vanilla extract, woody vanilla scent. Top notes of pink pepper, pink apple, and sugar crystals. Heart notes of lily, jasmine petals, and cashmere wood. Base notes of benzoin, vanilla, sandalwood, and agar wood. So woody, vanilla, sweet, delicious. When it dries down, it's a little bit more creamy on the skin. It's perfect, in my opinion. But you know what's not perfect is the packaging, because this thing is constantly leaking. I've had to reline this scent a million times, and the outside packaging will be like a little... it'll have product on it. So I don't know what's going on. Also, the lid has almost completely broken in half, but you can see, and this has happened with other mists from them in the past. So maybe it's just a me problem. I don't know if it's just a me problem, but this has happened to me with like every single mist that I've owned from Fleur. So maybe they could fix that. I don't know. But this line at the top is where we started. And then this line is where we are at now. Okay, next we have Cozy Vanilla Bourbon with notes of warm bourbon, dark fruit, and vanilla liqueur. And I haven't touched this one, if I'm being completely honest with you. I haven't been reaching for this one. I don't know what it is. It's one of literally my favorite Bath & Body Works scents of all time. It's so, so delicious, so good. But I don't know, I think I've just been in the mood for something, I don't know. I just feel like I've been reaching for something maybe a little bit softer, like a little bit spicier. I mean, this one maybe is a little bit spicy. It's more boozy, I would say, but it definitely has that vanilla, delicious, rich fragrance to it. It's so, so good. But I will show you, I literally haven't used it. So I don't have a second line on it because I didn't touch it. But that doesn't mean I don't love it. It's so good. It's so delicious. I also feel like I've been reaching maybe for something more like Vanilla Skin when I'm in the mood for a vanilla, but that's not to say that this one isn't one of the best mists they've ever done. So good. Next we have Midnight Addiction, and this one has notes of ripe plum, rich almond flour, and addictive coffee bean. And I've used this one a couple times. So I'll show you, again, really hard on this dark packaging, but that is where we started on this one. And that is where we are at now. So again, very difficult for you to see, but I would say I've used this one maybe twice. I actually have used this one to layer with the Black Opium perfume that I have. I feel like this one is very similar. I mean, I think it's supposed to be dupes, but I think this is closer to the Le Parfum. But I think this one just is able to sweeten that one up, kind of soften it up a little bit, but also be in like almost the exact same scent profile. Very, very similar. So yummy, and look forward to making even more progress as we continue this winter project. Lastly, we have a little makeup project that I'm doing where I just picked a few like key makeup products that I want to focus on and try to completely pan by the end of this project. Some of these are ones that have been in my collection for a while that I'm just like ready to be done with, but then some of them are ones that I'm like so close to finishing that I just need to get them out. I need to get them out. Their time has come. So the first one, let's talk about the bronzers first. So I have two. So the first one is this Mario bronzer, which as you can see has obviously has hit pan. This is almost completely empty, but it does still have a decent amount of product on the side. So I've kind of been tapping my brush around and then tapping it in the middle to kind of try to evenly disperse the bronzer onto my brush before I apply, and I feel like it's been doing a really good job. Amazing bronzer, one of my absolute favorites of all time. Next up is the Merit bronzer. That is, I think I've worded it before, this is a thing that wouldn't leave. It's a good bronzer. It's maybe even a great bronzer. I've been enjoying it, but it's unbelievable to me how long this product has lasted in my collection. It is a stick bronzer, and we're getting there. This is in the shade Quince. I really, really like this. It's really good. I would say it's a little bit, it definitely is balmy. So it definitely is like a balmier, not as dewy as the Mario bronzer, but it still is more of that like hydrated bronzy look. Very pretty, very wonderful to travel with, and apparently a very good value because it says it only has 0.44 ounces or 12.5 grams, but I feel like this has lasted me a lifetime. So that's the progress on our Merit bronzer. All right, we have two blushes. The first one is a Mario blush. This is in Barely Blushing, a beautiful neutral pink, super flattering, I feel like, for really any undertone, but very beautiful. And we have hit pan. We do have a little bit more pan than last time. I probably could have done a better job at reaching for this one. So that's on me, obviously. This is my project, but whatever. But we do have some pan and definitely has gotten bigger. So excited. We're doing it. We've made it-ish, almost, but we're getting there. That's what I'm trying to say. We're getting there. The next blush is from Haus Labs. This is their Color Fuse Glassy Blush Balm, and this is in the shade Glassy Hibiscus, and it definitely has some sort of complexion product on it, which is not very pleasing to look at, so sorry. But that is where we are at for this one. So we are also getting there with this one as well. I feel like these stick products are extremely easy to track because you can just twist them up all the way. So kind of encouraging when you can kind of check in on your progress and see how much you have left on these. And last but certainly not least is a $2 lip liner that I'm trying to get through, and that is the e.l.f. Cream Glide lip liner in the shade Baddest Beige. And actually this one really, really needs to be sharpened, but I'm going to show you it anyway. So this is where we are at for this one. You can see I've definitely reached for this one. It's not the best formula I've ever tried, but it's really good for being like $2, and they have a lot of good shades. So you could probably find a shade that you like, and I think it performs very well for a $2 lip liner. There you have it. That is my first update for you for my winter project pan. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're also doing a project, make sure you leave me a comment down below of a product that you're working on. Subscribe to my channel if you aren't already, and thank you so much for watching. I will see you in my next one. Bye.